Oh, back to school. It's what brings a welcome host of emotions. Yeah, there's excitement, there's some nerves, there's anxiety. Joining us this morning from Peachey Counselling and Family Support in Burlington, also opening one up in Oakville soon, is Stephanie Peachey back on the show. Great to have you. We've been having a lot of great conversations off camera because you have 4 kids, I have 3, and there's a lot of emotions, a lot of excitement to go through, and I know parents watching at home. Parents too have a lot of emotions and excitement. Maybe the little Jimmy's going off for his first day of school, so there's that. But let's go through, how do we deal with the anxiety and those emotions that they're dealing with?
Yeah, I think that as parents we have to go in expecting that there's going to be some nerves and some worries, and that's okay. For kids going back to school, there's a lot of things on their mind right now, right? Whether that be good or bad. What am I going to wear? Who's in my class? Who's my teacher if you don't know yet? And as parents, I think it's important we tune into that and view it as an opportunity to help our kids figure out how to manage these emotions that aren't necessarily bad, are just challenging.
Okay, is there ways that we can prepare them? Do we need to prepare them for things come Tuesday or Wednesday or whenever they go back?
Yeah, I think that having conversations early. Spend some time this weekend if you can, one-on-one, and just ask your kids simply, how are you feeling about going back to school? A lot of parents probably could already answer that question and have a sense of it, but I think taking the time to sit down with your child and ask them how they're feeling is really important, but the flip side of that is also really listening to it. A lot of parents will say, that's not really a problem, don't worry about that, it'll be fine. And what we're doing in those moments is invalidating the worries that our children are sharing. So when your child approaches you with a worry, spend some time and explore it. Get curious about it and help them figure out what can we do about it together.
I talked about this last week, how our little guy actually approached us and wanted to practice certain things that he's going to be saying to some of the kids in his school, like his name, his nickname, being friends, how can we be friends, and that type of stuff, and wanting to practice that. Is that something we can do with the kids? That's important to do?
Yeah, I think that's a great idea. He's clearly saying, this is something that's on my mind, and what am I going to say? So we have this skill called a cope ahead that we use in a kind of therapy called DBT. And what we're teaching children is identify what feelings you might have, what situations might come up, and what do you do with them. And you know, it's great that clearly you have a good relationship with him, and he's saying, Dad, let's practice this together.
Well, you just don't know what little, like the emotions that he has in his little chest, because there is something there. There's something means something to him. What about age range? Because I have different ages of kids, and they're all kind of feeling different emotions, and they'll kind of go into the first day of school doing different things. So how do we talk to our kids different depending on their age?
Yeah, I think that's where you do things one-on-one, as I say, the best place to start. So my daughter who's 10 is going to have different worries from my other daughter who's 4, almost 5, going into SK, versus my 8-year-old boy. So having those one-on-one conversations is important. And I think recognizing that as kids get older, they level up. I love that term that we think about. So they level up in terms of their cognition is more advanced, they're paying attention to things, they're aware of what their peers are doing or not. And so planning really individually with them and recognizing that different ages and stages come with a lot of different worries. Maybe social worries are greater for older children. For some kids, as they're growing up, they're recognizing maybe academically where they're struggling, what they like and don't like. So spending some time, again, individually and talking about what's on your mind, right? What's happening for you, and recognizing that as they get older, worries tend to get bigger.
Even like asking how your summer was.
Yes.
Because that's a question they're definitely going to get from other kids, but also teachers and other people in the school, and even like having some ideas rather than saying didn't do anything, because that's kind of the response when kids don't really know what to say. They'll just be saying that. So maybe practicing a couple of those things.
Yes, and as parents, the last thing we want our kids to go to school and say is, I did nothing. We go, what do you mean? We did all the things in the world. But practicing that, right? Saying to your child, what was your favorite part of summer? What could you say if somebody asks you that? And have them really think about it and feel prepared to answer that question.
At what point do we, I don't know, you start to see maybe there is some issues and maybe we need some help from the outside?
Yeah, I think that a lot of parents, no parent wants their child to suffer. So we at the practice often get a lot of questions about, my child has these worries, do they need to come in? Is this something I should be doing? So there's a difference between what's a worry and what's real anxiety. When we see a child moving more into anxiety that needs maybe some additional support is when emotions aren't always fitting situations, where worry is pervasive. It's about things that, you know, kids should maybe be easily moved past or supported with, but it's there. It's about everything. It's difficult to help it. So they might need some extra support. Even having sessions with somebody that's just not a parent can be helpful. But yeah, when it's really impacting them negatively and impacting them at school, it's time to reach out for a little bit of support.
But there's tons of all different types of emotions coming over the next week, so we'll get through that.
Definitely, yes.
Good luck. Good luck to
You too.
And for you at home, good luck. It's fun, right? More Morning Live on your Friday before we go back to school. After this.